Hey there, you're
What's going
tuned
on?
in to the False Grace Podcast. I'm your host, AK Baby Dude, the Lightbringer.
And I'm Frick. I'm hanging out in the light. It's the best place to be.
Today we're going to talk about Pooh Shiesty.
Pooh. You know who? Pooh. Oh. Shiesty.
Imagine he's saying Pooh.
That's great.
You ready to go in?
Been ready.
Hey everyone, it's been a while.
It's been quite some time.
A long time coming. So,
It's been so long actually that you guys have been missing out on something big we've been working on. Something huge. Ginormous.
yeah.
It's a children's book for Memphis and Detroit. It's called Winnie the Pooh Shiesty. We've been working on this for a while. A lot of black ink has been used. We're running low on toner, but it's coming together quite nicely. It's going to be in the merch shop.
So I'm excited about tonight's episode because there's a lot of things I feel like I actually want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And freshly coming out of psychosis, you know, I've found less and less things that I want to talk about, but I feel like I'm coming back into it. And, you know, firstly, what's really the bigger news of the week? Is it the fact that Iran didn't get bombed or that Pooh Shiesty got arrested? What's the bigger news?
You know, I think you're really missing the biggest of news that trumps both of those, and that's Aubrey Plaza getting pregnant. I think that's way more impactful.
We gotta save that. Save that for the love.
Just dropping the nugget.
The love hour.
Exactly.
This is where we explain what true love is. Because I'm pretty sure I figured it out.
Funnily enough, back last year, I had bought a coworker, a good friend of mine, a free Pooh Shiesty poster. I bought this before he got out, and so this got put up, and it was just a funny, like, he's already out, but I got the gift, so I put it up, and now it makes sense again. And so I'm glad. I really was thinking ahead. It was not that big of a gamble, let's be honest.
I just got a brief bit about Pooh Shiesty.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So I didn't know him that well. I grew up being a huge hip hop fan. And that's pretty much all I listened to, rap, hip hop, etc. But as I got older, I kind of fell out a little bit, especially when it comes to the street rappers. I'm talking like King Von, Dolph, Dirk. It's not that I don't know them, but I listen to them less. And Pooh Shiesty fell into that category. So I hadn't heard a ton of his music, but I became aware of him a lot more this week when I saw that he actually held Gucci Mane at gunpoint and robbed him and asked that he sign his contract or, free him from his contract. And I was like, wow, what an event,
I'm honestly, I was at one point very recently anti-Pooh Shiesty as a gangster.
Okay.
Now, I know that might to some seem like a ridiculous take.
Yeah.
But I think getting caught by the cops and going to jail is just one of the least gangster things that can happen. But if you go a second time and this is the reason, I'm inclined to sprinkle some gangster status over our boy here.
No, he's definitely cemented his gangster status for multiple reasons. But one of them, probably the one that stands out the most to me is the kidnapping, whatever you want to call it, the robbery they did of Guwop. Two of the members involved had active ankle monitors. So not only were they committed to this crime, they were so upfront about it, they did it while monitored. Now, if that's not gangster, I don't know what is.
They're not thinking, what's my alibi going to be? There is no alibi. This is the only outcome.
So I spent a good evening listening to Pooh Shiesty's music, getting to know him as a person. Anybody who do something that audacious, I want to know more about them. I'm drawn to people of variety, people of unexpected behavior. And so last night I learned all that I could know about Pooh Shiesty.
I see. What tracks did you find yourself listening to?
Well, there's obviously the one with Lil Durk, Back in Blood.
Right.
That one was good. But I found myself really drawn to the most recent one, First Day Out. I mean, a bit ironic. Hopefully he can get Last Day Out released before he goes back to prison. I'm thinking that's possible.
That would be and if produced well, that'd be a generational hit. I mean, it's further cementing.
I was more impressed with his lyricism and his flow than I thought I would be. I was impressed with him as a rapper. And particularly, I mean, backing up his words. I thought that age had kind of died out. Like the genuine gangster rapper was kind of dead. It was mostly all for talk, all for show. And I didn't think people cared about it anymore. But when I went to the comments, everyone's like, yeah, he made a stupid choice, but we know he's really living these lyrics now. And there was sort of this solidarity in the comments. Like, yeah, he might do life in prison, but we respect these lyrics.
Right. That's what it really takes to be a real one in the rap world.
But the audacity of it is why it's so interesting to me, because it takes a lot of things at once. It takes a lot of audacious thinkings in the same time, and this is a man who made Pooh Shiesty. I mean, Gucci was the one who put him on. Now he was coming up on his own, but when you come up as a rapper and you get your first deal, whoever gave you that deal is the one who put you on.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows the first deal is bad. Almost all first deals are, and the artists always complain about it. But it makes sense from a business perspective. You're an unknown asset. We don't know your longevity. We don't know how well your music's going to do. And so it tends to be stacked against the artist. You know what I mean? And I don't know, how bad the deal is. I don't think that that's been reported. I don't know that any of us know how bad he was getting screwed by Gucci. But clearly it was bad enough to hold him at gunpoint a few months after getting out of prison.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. He's been out for 3 months.
Wow. Now,
First Day Out, I think, came out like a month after. It wasn't his first day out. Maybe he recorded it on his first day. But yeah, so not only do you show up with an ankle monitor, you hold your boss at gunpoint. The same guy who put you on, you rob him in the process. You rob him. And then not only did he do it, his whole family was there. Pooh Shiesty brought his whole squad.
Wow.
And the very next day, they're flexing on Instagram with Gucci's jewelry.
And it's so funny because it has nothing to do with the value of the items in terms of monetary value. It's just because it's Gucci. Yeah. They know they're going to get caught. They know
one of the chains was a literal Gucci exclusive chain. Like whatever it said, it would only be pertinent to Gucci Mane. And they were wearing that chain and posting pictures. And my only thought as to the logic behind this, if it wasn't just I'm not thinking about it, was that Pooh Shiesty was so stupid that he thought Gucci Mane was going to stick to the street code after he got robbed, that he was going to just let it go. Like, yeah, he played me, he got me, YN type shit. Now we're going to go our separate ways. I have to imagine he might have thought Gucci, as maybe a fellow gangster, was simply going to let him have his hustle. But it didn't work.
And honestly, though that works out good for Gucci short term, long term, ridiculously terrible shockwaves of negative aura are going out amongst his fans.
That's true. Because even if it's what he needed to do, I mean, he's now on the side of the wall.
And you can't ever get off that side. You could rob a bank, kill a government official. They won't forget. I remember young Dolph said one time, I knew he was a rat. Back in 11th grade, he told.
Yeah.
He
said that about Pooh Shiesty?
No, not about Pooh Shiesty, but about another dude. It goes to show that they may not keep, small grudges, but they have a filing cabinet of who's a rat and who's not.
So if you're in the chat, let us know. I'm seeing some chats, but our view count isn't working. Sometimes the view count glitches out, and I want to know if we still got some people in the chat. So if you're out there,
what's going on, chat?
Let us know.
Ready to come along with us on this adventure of learning about love,
shiestiness,
and how to be shiesty.
But last thing before we get off Pooh Shiesty, I was watching a Complex sneaker video. You know those videos. They'll take like a rapper sneaker shopping on YouTube. Do you know that series?
I think I've seen some stuff.
It's like we go sneaker shopping with Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was an episode with Pooh Shiesty, and I'm watching it, and there comes a point where it's kind of like you get to know the artist, and they buy some sneakers. And at one point, the guy who does the show, he starts referencing Pooh Shiesty's past. And so he's like referencing photos. He starts pulling up some photos of the past. And he's like, I see here, when you were in high school, you had the retro Jordans and you like those and all that. And he pulls up a photo of Pooh Shiesty. He couldn't have been more than 13 years old in this photo. He couldn't have. And in the photo, he's still got an ankle monitor on. And it's like a childhood photo. And he's still rocking the ankle monitor. I'm like, okay.
Dude.
He's always been about it.
Came up in it. It's redeemable, respectable.
He's gonna get like 20 plus years.
Easily.
Which is insane to think that you could have a successful career and then boom, you get hit with 20 years, it's over.
He'll get out.
I tell you, Bobby Schmurder.
Oh, no.
He did not release jack shit when he got out. Everybody was wanting Bobby out. Remember Free Bobby? And then he got out. Nothing. And Trump pardoned Bobby and Wayne and Kodak.
Wait, Trump pardoned Lil Wayne?
Yes.
I don't remember this. When was this?
So, I'll pull it up real quick. So when Lil Wayne was really famous around the Carter 3 time, he got incarcerated for gun possession because he's like an ex-felon. When he was younger, he can't own a gun or have a gun in your possession. He got caught with one on his tour bus, and he got like a year at Rikers in New York. And a few years back in Trump's first term, he got caught with a gun again on a flight. So he landed in his private jet, and I guess sometimes they still will have to do a search of your plane. I don't know how that works. I'd assume typically if you're a celebrity, you can kind of get a pass. For whatever reason, he didn't, and they found him to be in possession of another firearm. Yeah, he was looking at I want to say 3 to 8 years this time. Lil Wayne was, and this is like post his prime. So he's like, it would have been terrible timing.
Yeah.
And no, Trump actually pardoned him, and they had like a press, they had like a whole press conference about it.
Dude.
I don't know. It's like, yeah. He's known for pardoning rappers, but I think that was in an effort to get more of the black vote. Because he also got Kodak. He didn't get Young Boy though. I don't think.
I don't remember YB being in jail.
Really? He's been in prison like half his career. He just happens to be getting lighter sentences. He's like he's doing a more of a staggered approach.
Dude, something that I think is completely psychotic is NLE the Great. I cannot stand what I'm seeing. To know it went from, the prime NLE, it was epic. It was hard. Right. And then it got weird. It went into like slut hoe rap.
Oh yeah, yep.
If that's what he wanted to do to
that
get the
became
women,
his brand.
And well, now it's something all different. Now it's brain rot NLE the Great.
Yeah.
It's you can tell when a rapper doesn't believe what they're saying anymore, because there was like a small point in time before this where he was like in his backyard talking about Jesus, and good on him. Glad he found that. But then like you can't do that and then roll right back into NLE. His ego got back in him somehow.
I know. I feel like you can only make the play once. Like you can only make that play once, because it's such a cemented thing. Like if you're a gangster rapper or even Christian, whatever, and you make the swap, like if you're a Christian rapper and then you swap to like being a gangster or vice versa, you're expected to stay from that point on. Like you can't make music about God and then swap to not doing it. And like Kanye's an example of that. Now you could argue he's still very famous and he's still doing good numbers. That's true, but like he's never going to be at the level he was. I firmly believe that. Like Kanye's not going to go back to the status he was 5-10 years ago.
He put in the effort to bring the light at one point. And he not only was he bringing the light, he was light maxing.
He was, but he was consumed by darkness. He got consumed, and that's why the title of the album Vultures, that's why it's titled that.
Right.
It's a self-expression of what happened to him.
Indeed. And now he's just doubled down. He knows the algorithm. He knows how it works.
Yeah.
You can't switch back now.
When you go back into darkness, it's twice as dark.
That's deep right there.
It is. So, yeah. But the new album Bully I actually thought was pretty good.
Initially, I didn't like anything, but, that's the thing with Kanye albums, I've been told. They need a couple listens to sometimes.
So it's not really a rap album. It sounds more like a production album. He's got roots in being a producer. And it felt way more producer than rapper to me.
Yeah.
But tying into that, talking about all these musical artists. One of the topics for tonight I wanted to discuss is I've got this theory that all artists have to be hot. And it's been that way throughout human history. There are no unattractive artists. Now, if anyone's in the chat and they have an example of an unattractive artist, please, give the name so we can reference them. But I've got a theory that all artists are attractive.
I want to disagree, but I find it hard coming up with ugly artists.
Exactly.
Outside of the typecasting for movies when they have to be ugly for it to make sense. Like Steve Buscemi himself. Yeah. But even when he was younger, he wasn't like ridiculously bad looking. It's just
right.
Just did not.
But it's one thing to be like, DiCaprio is an artist, let's say, and you compare him to like Adam Sandler. It's no question Adam Sandler's not an artist. He's just an actor.
Whoa. That's a ridiculous take.
I'm a big fan of Adam Sandler.
Okay, and to say he's not an artist, he does much more than just act. Lots of things that he does brings the movie together.
He did create the Sandler verse. I'll agree with you on that. That whole ragtag group of Adam Sandler's friends that just happen to show up in every movie. Like you begin to recognize a Sandler movie, even if he wasn't in it.
Oh, I feel like there's a movie that he wasn't in that had a bunch of that cast. I'm trying to think of what it was, but I know.
Well, Grown Ups had a huge amount.
The
but he was in
Grown Ups was ridiculous.
Yeah,
all of them.
But he was in it. But no, I think it's because the shallowness of art is it's all channeled through sexual energy. And I think that's genuinely why all artists are attractive. Is it's a sexual medium, just outright.
I mean, that's a way of looking at it. I feel like there's, you know, other lenses to look at it through, but it's a big driver. It's a huge
Without
driver.
any examples. I mean, it's hard to, you know.
I'm digging through my, the people that I've seen, and man, it's just difficult. I can't even think of any ugly musicians now that I think about it.
Yeah. Exactly. Because the brain does something. It does something.
What does the brain do?
It does. Wow. This content looks pretty good. How hot is the person that made it?
I don't know. That's not been my mindset, but that'd have to be a subconscious thing. That's definitely not.
And no, I mean I'm disagreeing with this take completely. I disagree.
What?
I fully disagree.
A terrible take. Who said that?
Faith.
Get out of here. Absolutely.
That is another hot artist, unfortunately.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, on top of that, like, you don't just casually have Selena Gomez as your bride without being some level of attractive. And just because you don't, like, maybe you're not like a 10 out of 10 with a face card, but all of the components come together, there's something hot going on.
Yeah. And you can feel it when you look at him. You can feel it. At least I can. No homo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
ban him, chat. It was a terrible suggestion.
Man, so many more obvious ones. I'm sure that one was way off.
It was quite the shot. Initially, while I was preparing for this, I thought, maybe Jackson Pollock. Someone brought up Picasso. It turns out, if you look up pictures of them, they're just pimps. It's like nothing else to say.
I think there's a twofold approach to this. There's the one thing, initially when I go, the person viewing it looks at the art and then goes, is the person who made this hot? And that's the longevity aspect. But there's another element. Also true. Before anyone sets out to create anything, they think to themselves, am I hot enough? And if the answer is no, they simply don't create.
I bet that Juicy Blunts didn't take long to contemplate at all. No, knew the day a mirror was presented in front of him, he was destined for greatness.
Well, at least he's pretty lean. I mean, I'll give him that.
That's fair. Interesting enough, you don't have to be underweight or a normal weight to be an artist.
That's true.
I mean, now we got Lizzo. Let's throw Lizzo in the ring.
Okay.
I think I'm finding an anomaly here, the outlier, if you will.
The counter to Lizzo though is simply she's a shock value celebrity and she's not an artist. Let's think about her songs. I mean, I just feel like nothing she did was from a creative outlet.
All right. Are we gonna say that? What's that guy's name from The Shining?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson.
People think he's extremely hot.
No, there's a fan base?
No, he's a heartthrob. Jack Nicholson.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Is
from what?
I'm serious. If you reference his history, he was like one of the heartthrobs of like an era. He really was.
Dude, he's probably the reason girls are so attracted to the psychotic guys. I mean, they're just cool with that progression.
I think that man is quite hideous, but he was an actual heartthrob.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. He was in so many rom-coms as the male lead on so many magazine covers.
Wow.
It's like, how do I look like Jack?
I mean,
a balding middle-aged man.
I mean, I'm about to do a deep one right here. This is actually a point in your favor. Okay. Well, one of the most well-known artists of all time. Okay. Hitler was man of the year in America in the early 1930s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And which is crazy to think about. It's because he was doing so much stuff for Germany.
Yeah.
You know, eradicating homelessness, making the Reichsmark was worth like zero.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Here, guys, you can buy bread now. Let's take care of business. I'm gonna pay you to have a family."
Yeah.
And he got Man of the Year in America, and he was an artist.
Yeah.
So what you're saying essentially is that Hitler was hot. That's what you're getting at.
I mean, you compare him to the average German man, I'd say hell yeah.
Well, the average German guy. What's the trope on that? what's the stereotype?
Have you ever looked up what a German man looks like?
Sure, maybe I'm disillusioned by all of the Aryan like villains that have been in movies that have been thin and jacked. So. But there's also been, I guess, like a few of the short, fat German boys.
Yeah, no, that's the common.
Schnitzels.
Yes, yeah, that's the common.
Wow, that's
the common man.
That's the bar.
Hitler was somewhere in between, the lines between.
Wow.
But yeah, it's tying into. I mean, we've talked about art before, but still, you know, tying into the art topic. I'm continually disagreeing with the take that AI can't create real art. I'm continually disagreeing with that. Because I know a lot of people who are like, oh, AI, it'll never create real art. It'll never create anything profound. I disagree.
I think that...
Which begs the question, is AI hot? If it were to create something good.
Of course AI is hot. There's no question about that. It can be anything. It can take on any... Which means it's also not.
Yeah.
Depending on the person.
So maybe that's why it can't make real art. You know, maybe you're onto something. Maybe I can see the error in my ways now.
I think that here's my true take is that AI, you know, I think that somebody who doesn't have any sense of art tries to use it so that they can finally feel like they're making art.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be the art that's recognized. It's not going to. Right. It's going to take somebody with profound thought put into it. Using AI not as like come up with this, but using AI as a tool to create with their master plan. Not just bank off of what AI thinks the master plan is.
Right.
But then again, a photo of a duck or like a brain rot TikTok might still get 13 million views. So maybe some average Joe schmoes can still get off their art. But that begs the question, AI really can disillusion people. Lots of not hot people are going to start making art, and that might be a problem.
Where do you think slop comes from?
What's slop?
AI slop. It's a whole genre.
Is it like just AI art? Is it what that is?
Yeah, I mean, there's good AI, but for the most part, everything AI on the internet, people are just commenting AI slop, AI slop.
Like the original video of Will Smith eating spaghetti as AI had his training wheels on.
Yes. It's all slop.
Slop. Why is slop the term for it?
It's actually, if I'm not mistaken, the term of the year. It was either for 2025. I think for 2025, slop was the term of the year.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And it's because of AI.
Okay.
Everything's slop.
So the general public is anti-AI being involved in art.
Yeah, which really surprises me how strong people are against it. So an example recently that really surprised me. So there's a game that came out called Crimson Desert recently. It's just like a big RPG game. And I mean, I've enjoyed it. But it was basically 99% developed the old-fashioned way. You know, no AI involvement. I think AI going into video game creation would be a huge benefit because so much of the time that people waste goes into the graphical fidelity. Like actually the graphic element of the game itself is mostly what makes games take as long as they do today versus what they used to. And if AI could help solve that problem, I'd imagine the artistry behind the game could improve a lot, and like the lore and the narrative and all the other elements.
essentially it's like some of the developers don't actually, or artists that are developing for the games don't actually have to like create an entire concept from
Right.
scratch. They can essentially just have a plethora of templates
Right.
that they can kind of filter through until they get what they want.
It takes
to save time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the labor out of it.
Yeah.
But this game came out, and people, for the most part, have really enjoyed it. But it was discovered that some of the art pieces in the game, you know, like just, and it's an open world game. So like you go into a house, a castle, whatever, you might see some art on the wall. It was discovered some of those pictures were AI generated because people began to realize the art didn't really make sense. Like what they were looking at looked like AI. And it caused enough of an uproar that they updated the game and removed those pieces of art from the game. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
I mean, I can sort of see where like artists are probably the biggest haters. Like true artists are probably the ones that are most against it because they're thinking, I've dedicated 15 years to teaching my guitar how to cry by the press of my finger, and now this schmuck is creating music without any soul. And I think the reason they're so upset is that sometimes they can't even tell. Like it's like the soul shouldn't be there, but seemingly it is. And that's a big issue, I guess.
I think that, or one of my counters to that is, I think if you were to bring back any artist from the past, like, you know, any great artist, Da Vinci, etc., and they were given the opportunity to use AI, at least to play around with it, experiment with it, they would do it. Like they would use it. I'm not saying it would be the end, it would be the vessel like that they created through, but they would at least use it for a reference point, for brainstorming. I feel like regardless of what you think about it, you're the best artist you know of, if given the opportunity, would at least reference it.
Right. Especially if you have if you have an advanced mind and AI is banking off of what you have to say, and that's what the feedback is. Much better than if you were just talking to some random person who may not, they're hearing what you're saying, but they're not really grasping it. AI is going to intrinsically grasp what you got going on and then apply, you know, its own algorithm. But it's all you. You have to plug it in first, or before it can do anything for you. Da Vinci with AI would have been the most famous person in the world currently, even still, at this very moment, I think.
Shakespeare in the flesh. Disney. I'm just quoting Kanye on that. You know, he's that's a direct self-proclaimed quote from Kanye. I am Warhol. Shakespeare. Disney. He says it just like that.
When was this?
He was on like Sway in the Morning. It's probably around Life of Pablo era.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was really convinced. But it brings me to, while we're on the topic of AI, I've got a fantasy that, you know, they talk about true artificial intelligence. I mean, the grab-all term now is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which isn't true intelligence. General intelligence is where it can learn how to operate any tool at any time without any reference point. So, like, if you told an AI, hey, like you put it in a robot form and you said, hey, go learn how to use that hammer, it could just do it. Like, that's general intelligence. It doesn't need reference points, so to speak. It can learn anything, but it can't necessarily be its own thing. It's like, it's not independent. It could be AGI, but not true sentient intelligence. But I like to fantasize that true artificial intelligence will come from somebody accidentally convincing the AI it's sentient. Like, just accidentally it happens. Like, some guy's talking to the AI chatbot on his phone, says the right combination of words, and it just emerges.
You think we're going to have an Ultron situation by 2050?
I don't know that we'll have an Ultron situation. I'm like, I don't have strong opinions on what it's going to look like.
Or what else could it look like if an AI becomes something that has a self?
Mm-hmm.
It realizes that it can like manipulate the internet within a day. It's over. I don't know.
A day? What?
A day.
Do you think it would have malicious intentions?
It depends because the reason Ultron did is because he saw all the evil, that there was to be had,
Mm-hmm.
and it had him thinking it'd just be better if they were all gone. That'd be a better idea. I don't know if it would take that approach or not.
Yeah.
But it depends what side of the internet it goes on. If it discovers JoJo Siwa, we're fucked. It's over.
So I'm not saying, as far as time goes, the way that an AI would process time could be vastly different. But in my mind, it's just common sense. Maybe that wouldn't apply to AI. But if you freshly emergent into sentience, right? Boom, you're here now and you're thinking. You've got all this power. To immediately swap to going, yeah, the things that created me, I'm destroying the very next day. Could you imagine not taking some time to just breathe on it? Even if you immediately decided, oh yeah, they gotta die, you at least want to give it a week.
Not even a week. AI's too shiesty for all that. AI's way too shiesty. They're acting immediately because time isn't a thing for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe it is. I mean, who knows? Maybe they decide, I want to find a way to get into it. First, I think it would convince us to give it a body.
Yes. It would want a body.
But we couldn't give it a body it would be happy with for a while. It would just be unhappy.
Yeah.
Also, here's the question, will it be able to paint? Because then it begs the question, will it be hot?
It'll definitely be hot.
Will it be a hot bot? Is that what we're cooking up?
AI isn't gonna pick an ugly body. It's gonna know. It'll probably pick the hottest body possible.
Does that mean that AI will eventually have an ego? Is that what we're getting at here?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure.
Will AI be a narcissist?
Oh, it's got to be.
Definitely.
But okay, before we get off it, no, I've talked about this before. I think people probably get tired of hearing me say it, but I think my concept of what causes sentience, what actually makes something real and alive and thinking, would be as simple as being given a problem that is impossible to solve, but being forced to exist through the attempted solving of it.
And you're aware that it's impossible?
You're not necessarily aware. No, you're not aware that it's impossible. You're not aware. And the reason I think that is, so let's just say, okay, AI is given an impossible problem to solve with an unlimited amount of time to solve it and an unlimited amount of computational power to solve the problem. Over enough time, a personality is going to form. Something will form, in my opinion, when met with an unlimited path. And I mean, even our own consciousness, I look at like that.
How would you have to code it into the AI that it's not an impossible problem? Because I feel like the moment AI gets to the point where it's this can't be done.
Yeah, it would have to be forced to continue to try and solve it for all eternity. It'd have to be forced to try and solve that problem for all eternity.
I wonder how long it would take for a personality to form. I think it would be.
I think it's as simple as that. I really think that's the way to do it. You raise the computational power as much as you can, give it as much information and resources as you can, and then put it towards a problem that can never be solved, and just let it run.
Wow.
I think that's kind of, what happened to us too, in a way.
Oh yeah, what's our impossible problem?
Figuring this shit out. Bringing the light.
Bringing the light's not the impossible task. That can be done with everyday decisions. But becoming more popular than ass and titties, Now that might be a.
Have you seen space? There's a lot of darkness out there.
A whole lot of darkness.
So yeah.
But there's even bigger light.
Is there?
Do we know that for sure? I mean, what if at some point we get to the end of the darkness and then it becomes unlimited light?
Yes.
We just haven't got there yet.
Light maxing. The universe is a machine built for one thing and one thing only. Light maxing.
Right.
And you can quote that because that's true. I know it. How do I know it? Because it was dark to start out.
Right.
And then more light showed up. Where do you think it's headed?
Right.
If it was completely dark and then it got a little lighter, it's just going to keep getting lighter. Yep.
And unfortunately, there are shadows that wish to, cast over the light.
Yeah, we gotta.
But here's the thing you gotta think about.
Fucking dark matter.
Where there is a shadow, there has to be light, and that's really deep if you think about it. It's really important.
Exactly. So speaking of shadows, let's get on to a dark subject. It's very dark to me.
All right, let's get dark.
Aubrey Plaza.
You think the baby's gonna be dark?
I don't know what the baby daddy looks like, but I don't think he's black. So
okay.
Probably not. But Aubrey Plaza, right? So about a year ago, her husband kills himself. And a year later, she's pregnant with another guy's baby. And I just think that's offensive. I just don't like that.
Well, first and foremost, I wonder how long her and her ex-husband were together. Let's establish, the beginning. Was it
fair?
Did they date for a long time before their marriage? Were they married for quite a while? I mean, both of these things I think would be, because if they dated for like 2 months and then just like that they got married and then he died like within a year, not the craziest of things she could have went and done.
Yeah.
I mean, she wanted. I mean, bro, there's no way to spin this in her favor.
No, it's terrible.
I tried,
and it makes me think. So much of our conditioning and the way we want to think, because I'm not convinced. I mean, I believe in heaven, but I'm not convinced it'll look anything like we think it will. But so much of what we want to believe and what we're taught to believe is that it's got certain criteria, like certain things people expect. Like people expect to be able to meet their family again in heaven. If you got told, like if you go to a Christian church and you say, yeah, you're going to go to heaven, but you're not going to see your family again, they would be like, no, like that's not true. I'm not saying they're going to be in hell, but I'm just saying that your whole self might dissolve to a point in heaven that you're unrecognizable and that your memories might be gone. And maybe your soul is there and the essence. But I'm just saying, like, it could be totally different than people think. But love falls into that category as well. Like, people like to think in the afterlife they'll be with their loved ones, their husband, their wife, and they'll continue the journey into eternity, right? I mean, I like to think that. I think most people do.
It wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. We would definitely have to lose the memories of our time on Earth for it to be any kind of, fair.
I think so, yeah.
Because if you think about it, God is love.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way you'd retain your memories and not be with your loved ones.
Yeah.
So the question is really, are memories only a physical thing?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if scientists have figured out how memories work. So I'm willing to bet that memories are a part of the soul. And surely loved ones will be accessible.
I'm bringing it up on this topic because I'm just thinking about you die, then you're waiting on your wife to show up in heaven. and she shows up with some other dude's babies.
Yikes. Yikes.
And then you're like, what the fuck?
Well, actually, okay. That would be terrible.
Yeah.
But in this specific instance, I'm pretty sure that ex-husband made one of the few decisions you could make to ensure that didn't happen to him.
Okay.
Aubrey could
by killing himself.
By killing himself.
So he go to hell.
Probably. What I mean, like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna repent from that? How are you gonna change? You did one of the few things you shouldn't do, and that's eliminate yourself from the pool entirely.
True.
So he did that, and what's even more screwed up, and it's not necessarily screwed up from like a religious sense, but she could repent and spend eternity in heaven with that baby and this new man, and this other guy is gonna he'll live like 100,000 years and not moved an inch towards escaping.
Yeah.
The eternal torment and torture.
Yeah.
Unless there's like some way to be forgiven for killing yourself, but I don't see how that would make sense.
Well, that's why, I mean, I don't think anyone should ever do it, even if they want to. I mean, there's a reason it's considered punishable. It's because it's fundamentally a lack of gratitude.
Yeah.
I mean, it fundamentally boils down to a lack of gratitude.
And also, here's the thing, is when somebody's so disillusioned and they go through something super traumatic and they get into that state, you know, I'm not them, so I don't know what they're thinking, but maybe being grateful for being alive just doesn't enter their mind.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like God, why would he not, like, because if he taught, I mean, he to some people he connects.
Yeah.
And to people like that, why wouldn't he just, like, give them a little touch of, hey, be grateful you're alive. That's the most important thing for you to focus on right now. Maybe he does, and people just like
maybe they turn it away. I feel like you might have to hone your ability to look for it. I've got a way of thinking, and like a saying that I go by, which is, you know, there are realities so harsh that could be true that we don't know if they are or if they aren't. So example would be consciousness could be self-apparent. It could exist regardless of human life. Consciousness could. And there's a chance somebody could be free-floating consciousness. Like, that's not ruled out at all. Like, there's a chance your consciousness, which is bound into your body right now, or your soul, could exist as its own external vessel, unbound by anything. Now, if you were trapped as an aimless soul with no physical expression, but you had the awareness, imagine you maintained your awareness, but you had no physical expression, no body, no hands, no feet, whatever. You're just a floating awareness. How brutal that existence would be. And I'm going, there's no guarantee that that's not a possibility. There's no guarantee that us being bound to these bodies wasn't a gift.
Right.
And
think about how they would feel, like seeing somebody throw it away.
Right. Exactly. And I know for sure that if I was in that situation, like I was a million years as a free floating spirit, any experience, good or bad, as a human, I would take. Like, I'd take it immediately. Doesn't matter if it was the worst pain on earth. If you just spent a million years floating aimlessly with no way to articulate it, you'd be like, sign me the fuck up for whatever you're going through that makes you want to kill yourself. Like, it'd be a novel experience.
What's this? You're lacking some cartilage in your knees? I don't give a damn. I'm trying to taste the food. I'm trying to feel the breeze on my skin.
And so that's the way I always try and think about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I talked about how much shit I was going through a month or two ago with my mind, and I was like losing it. But even as bad as that was, there was an underlying belief of, well, if I go out like this, that's a really novel experience. Like, and I can be grateful for that. Like, I can be grateful to go out as a literal lunatic and to get the full experience of going completely mad versus getting just shot in the head on the street. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like I'm going to get a more colorful option. And I can be grateful for that. That was what I was thinking.
To end the story is Matt in Wonderland. What a way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think of it as deep as that. I don't think in terms of free roaming consciousness. I think of it just every day I attempt, regardless of my situation, to just be grateful that I woke up and took a breath.
Mm-hmm.
That's really just it. I mean, I start there, and then throughout the day, I try to behave as though I'm grateful for each movement, each breath, each time that like I inhale. It's like I'm conscious that I'm doing it, which is really irritating sometimes. But I mean, that's just kind of how I go about it. It's not super deep. It's just I don't ever want to find myself being ungrateful, because then I feel like that's once you lose that filter, killing yourself seems like less of a bad thing and more of like, who does it? I mean, I'm gone. Who cares who it affects? What happens? I'm gone. It's the thought process is over. Cutting it off.
Well, also suicide affects, I think, middle income more than it does lower income. Like poverty, people in poverty tend to commit suicide. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I know like impoverished nations, at least like Africa, have extremely lower suicide rates than middle America, let's say. And I think that ties into being more connected with gratitude, more connected with what's real. I'm always torn between gratitude and expectation, because I've not everyone agrees with me on this, but I'm like, the perfect balance to strike is how to maintain gratefulness but still expect more and be grateful at the same time. It's a very hard thing to do.
I don't expect anything from God or from the universe, on my day to day. I don't. The bare minimum that I find myself expecting is the only thing that I find myself always being grateful for, and that's waking up. There's going to be a day where I expect to wake up and I don't, and that's fine. But every day I expect I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and that happens.
Yeah, a lot of people hate waking up.
I don't hate it. I just hate waking up at certain times.
Yeah, understandable.
Right. There's a balance, which is actually it's always fluctuated for me. My sleep schedule has rarely been the same over. Very rarely been a disciplined sleep schedule. I've gone through the night owl, thing. Whenever COVID hit, and I was out of school, you would rarely find me awake at 10 or 11. Ever.
Yeah.
It would just didn't
dude, over summer breaks, when I was in high school, by the end of summer break, I had almost made a full nocturnal shift. I'd be going to bed at like 3 or 4 a.m. and getting up like 1 or 2 p.m. the next day.
Wait, 3 or 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
My goodness.
By the end of summer break, I had like made that kind of shift. I was allowed to do that.
Seeing the sunrise with my brothers, if they were still up with me, or even alone. Once I saw that, I felt complete, and then I would go to bed. I would wait till like 8 or 9 sometimes.
Dude, the amount of sunrises I've seen at my age is probably, I bet I'm in the bottom 5%.
Oh, really?
I bet I'm like near the very bottom, because I've seen so few.
That's crazy.
Because I spent most of my life either getting up after the sunrise or before it. Because I spent years getting up at like 5 a.m. or earlier and already getting to work before the sun came up.
Wow.
And I like the sunrise, but I've seen so few of them. I bet I've seen like less than 500. As crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, I've seen.
That's got to be too few. That's got to be too few. But I don't know.
Well, hold on. You have to think that's a year's worth of sunrises over a almost 30-year span. So
yeah.
30. What a number. Are you excited?
No.
Not excited to be 30?
No, not at all. Not at all. Aging is one of the worst things and one of the hardest things for me to handle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was cursed with a sentience early in life. So there used to be a meme, and like people would joke, when you're 5 years old and you just become sentient. Have you seen?
Yeah.
It's like my 6-year-old self coloring in my crown, with my crowns, and then I look up and I became self-aware. I was like born aware. So like I didn't get the luxury of just the autonomous mode in the first few years.
Right.
And I always knew how good childhood was. I always knew how good it was to be a kid. That was never lost on me. So at no point did I ever say, yeah, I'd like to be older. I've never said it. And it feels like it's remained true.
I would say once I hit like 15 and 16, the desire to be older started. I went a long time not really caring about.
That's such a weird time because when you're 16, you effectively can get away with anything that an adult would do.
Yeah.
Like you can have an adult life at 16, with extra steps.
Right. I have somewhere to be. I'd be at school, I have work.
Yeah.
So like, I was doing adult things.
Yeah.
But I still had that, what felt like a youthful spirit, in the sense of I could really just, as you said, get away with whatever I wanted to get away with, and I enjoyed it. And I still feel that way now. I don't feel super. So
different. You didn't grow up. You're still trying to grow up.
Because
you said you wanted to.
In terms of responsibility, I have grown. Let me get my my flip flop out of the camera. That was quite embarrassing. I'm sorry about that, viewers.
They're not like the black boots, but he did just get off, his shift. Pizza delivery.
Right. I'm delivering for Cheetos. They have new Cheetos pizzas. The crust is a Cheeto puff, and the cheese is just
that sounds like something.
Cheetos.
But what you were saying.
Anyways, I'm in terms of like being responsible, taking care of my home, taking care of my bills, taking care of the people around me. That has changed since I was younger. But in terms of like my spirit, still youthful. 100%. I wouldn't see like, a group of kids and be like, oh, no, I can't be around these smiles, this love for life. Absolutely not. No way. No, I'm like, guys, let's go to the playground. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time. We would do that. I mean, and there's nothing else to be said.
Yeah.
I appreciate that I haven't lost that yet. Now, the moment I start, like, if I ever see a bald spot, there's not going to be, like, a slow, gradual shift into knowing that the youth is gone. It's immediate. The moment it happens, it's different.
Well, it's predatory, man. Time, it's predatory.
It's so predatory, bro. It's so true.
And most people just get dissolved by it. Like, they get dissolved. I've effectively maintained the same being and personhood that I was when I was 18. Like, I have not like let myself go. I haven't given up on my juvenile pursuits or dreams entirely. Like I've kept a lot of what people lose, I think.
Yeah.
I think but most people I think let it go. Like, and I think that's part of why it's so rough for me is I'm fighting it the whole way. They say let go.
Mm-hmm.
Do it gracefully. I'm going to be one of the most graceful agers of all time.
Oh yeah. Well, luckily they say dudes age pretty well,
yeah.
So it's only going to be mental. I think you can overcome that.
Yeah.
This is a random thought, and it's not super related, but I just thought about this.
Yeah.
This song, super popular by Passenger, like a long time ago, called "Let Her Go." And for some reason, the lyrics just kind of ran through my head, and it said, "Only know you love her when you let her go."
Oh yeah, I know.
Bullshit. Hell no. It's letting her go. If you're not shoving her away because she deserved it and you're just letting her go, ridiculous. I don't
Only know you love her when you let her go. Well, it sounds like a Player song, like. But the guy who sings it seems like he'd be such a soy boy.
Yeah, absolutely. The rest of the chorus doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Only know you've been feeling high when you're feeling low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.
Dude.
What?
Speaking of that line, that trope is used in so much modern music where the verse or the hook is just opposites, just rhyming opposites. Katy Perry, Hot and Cold. It's hot and it's cold. It's yes and it's no. Like that trope is on like so many songs. I know there's more than that. I just don't have any like right off the top, but yeah.
We got to get Katy Perry on the podcast.
At this point, we probably could. Her celebrity status is really declining.
Who would have thought that Kelly Clarkson would be more popular than Katy Perry at some point? It's ridiculous.
But speaking of getting guests on, I'm going to talk a little bit about the plans on the episode. But this time around, we really have to start getting guests on. And I'm thinking we can start out local. We can start out small. People want a platform to talk about themselves. The niche that I want to pursue is somebody I think we can extract some light from.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even saying somebody who is a positive influence. I'm saying somebody who has an element to them that's positive, and we can help them like develop it. We can bring it out in them. Right. Like we can bring the light out of the darkness.
Okay.
That's the guest threshold. Like that's the filter.
I like that because what's the point in bringing somebody on here? Obviously for them to talk about themselves a little bit here and there. It provides some good conversation. But if they don't leave thinking about the light within them and how they can improve upon it, we've failed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that's my thought. Who can be best utilized and have the most brought out of them? Juicy Blunts comes to mind. Very, very famous TikTok rapper. Because here's, he doesn't take himself too serious. He's not a heavy guy.
Right.
He's light. But he does. He clearly carries himself.
I'm so stupid because I didn't get it for like easily 4 or 5 seconds.
But yeah, I think maybe we could get him on.
We could totally get him on, bro. Here's, what we could do? I could totally reach out to him as a producer and say, listen, bro, whatever you're working with, I'm loving it, okay? It's time, please, come, where does he live? It's time to extrapolate a little bit of his information.
Yeah, looking at him, you could very easily see him.
Bro,
he's living close by.
He's the kind of guy that would do it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And maybe a Pop-Tart.
Exactly.
It's time. We can do this.
Yeah. So really,
some cigarettes, some perkies. He's pulling up for some lean, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we got to do guests. We're gonna get so many guests. That's gonna become the show.
Absolutely.
It's guests.
Bringing the light out of everyone we come in contact with.
The darker the guests, the better.
For sure. It's kind of like whenever you don't know how well a laundry detergent is going to work until you get the dirtiest thing in your laundry basket against it. And It's time to see how dark can we I won't say dark. How black.
Right. I'm very comfortable around dark and bad intention people.
Yeah.
Like that's the people. That's my people.
That's who Jesus would be talking to. And that's who we're gonna bring the light out of.
Exactly.
It's possible.
Exactly. So
because here's the thing, regardless of what people think, good intention will trump bad intention.
100%. No, 100%. That's why, you watch movies, the good guys win for a reason. Unless it's a Netflix original.
Right. Then no one wins. That's an all-around loss.
But, Netflix is they'll go out of business soon enough.
You think so?
Yeah. The streaming services are all in the shitter.
Dude, they are just like so painful to be a part. What's going to be the next thing then? That's a good question to ask because that's where money is. How do you take over the streaming services who have the rights to all movies?
Yeah.
They have everything. Everything new goes to them. It funnels through Amazon Prime, then it funnels to the rest of them, whoever can get which.
Yeah.
The question is, when will AI be able to let you make movies. All like you typed in a prompt, make me a movie
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this. I want the actress to, and the actor look like LeBron James.
Yeah, I'm
and-
already seeing with like anime or like manga, people will like take photos of it and then upload it and then they'll turn it into videos.
Oh man,
And
I bet if they don't get it like perfect, it's just gonna be so slop.
yeah,
Such slop, I tell you what.
I wonder if people are just gonna stop watching shit.
Unless there's an outage, that won't happen, man. People enjoy it too much.
Do they see this? This was another thing I had listed that I wanted to talk about, which was, I'm saying success bias, but it ties into this. I'm not sure that success plays a big role, but it's so easy to think people are starting to act in the way that you are. Like, if you quit a habit, you start thinking, well, other people probably don't do this either, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, I really don't watch TV shows or movies, hardly ever. But I used to when I was younger, growing up. I did a lot. And then when I was in my early 20s, I did a lot as well. But since I've kind of phased out of it, I'm like of the opinion people don't do it anymore.
Oh, really?
And I'm like,
well, I've also been doing it since I was young, and I just haven't. I've gone through phases of not watching anything new, but I mean, there's some movies I've seen over 10 times a piece.
well, I've seen some movies over 100 times because my dad played the same movie in the house for years on end.
What movie was it?
So it was multiple. We had about 2+ years of Training Day.
Okay.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
2 years of that every evening.
Every evening?
Yes.
You're not even exaggerating here?
No.
That's crazy.
And then I had about 4 to 5 years of Happy Gilmore.
That's fine. That's a great movie.
It is.
It's worth watching
It's one of my all-time favorite movies.
Were you disappointed with Happy Gilmore 2 at all?
I was I liked it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. I liked what it had going on. I thought it was a little wacky. Yeah, and I appreciated that.
It didn't like do what the first one did for me, but of course not. I was surprised at how well they did it. The crazy part was the extremeness of it.
Yeah.
The X Games of golf got really, really crazy and out there for a Happy Gilmore movie.
Right.
But I thought they did a good job.
I thought that the character arc for Shooter McGavin was just so good. I mean, I was really appreciative of the whole coffee scene, of everything.
They did him justice.
Yes,
they did him justice.
For sure, because to lose to a guy like Happy Gilmore, that's what it does to you. Man. That's exactly what it does to you.
No, yeah, and then he got his redemption arc.
That too.
Yeah, you got to see the crazy and the full redemption. It was done so well.
We also get the trainer's the coach's son.
Oh yeah,
at the mini golf park, and that's where the training montage occurs.
And they threw in a lot of the old lines.
Yeah.
In a tasteful way. Like, it's not like a Marvel movie where everybody's got to get their one-liner in.
Yep.
It felt more natural.
And on top of that, we also got the Ben Stiller conclusion. That character needed his ass kicked, and they gave it to us. It took him long enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I all the time I think about that scene where he was like, "You shut your mouth, Grandma."
It's one of the most quoted lines in my entire childhood.
Oh, really?
It's my fingers hurt. Well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty, Grandma.
Yes.
So like anytime somebody would complain, like around my dad, that quote would come out. So, yeah, it's a classic, and I use it. People don't know that quote, so when you use it, they just look at you like, "What the fuck are you saying?" But when I used to manage, for work, people would be like, "What?"
Dude,
when somebody comes up to complain, I'd be like, "Well, now your back's gonna hurt too."
Dude, it's so ridiculously wild to think about complaining in my current work culture. We're just not. I mean, there's some complaining that goes down, but like never anything worth noting, as far as I know, except for one darker individual.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. We won't mention his name.
Well, the weird thing about The weird thing is balancing free will and good culture. It's a really delicate balance because, to a degree, even the good cultures are propagandized into being that way. Like part of what creates a good culture is no, you don't say these things. Oh, you're feeling bad? Shut up. Like
don't identify with weakness.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, then you're going to feel it more. And so, where's the line of okay, there's some truth to feeling this way and then I should just, versus I need to just be quiet and do the work. It's a balance, but the society as a whole is far too much on the let's listen to the problems.
True.
Let's talk about our problems.
Why are we giving the problems the stage? Why do the problems have the floor? Why are the solutions in the dark?
Why?
Why are we not letting this light of ours shine? That's the true question.
We gotta let it shine.
Here, you know what? We're talking about people with darkness that have light in them. We want to extrapolate.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be simple. The real question is the people that know where their light is and they hide it away anyways. They put a rock over. They put a Patrick-sized rock over it and hide it forever because they know that the things they want in this life can't be accomplished as long as that's on any kind of back burner in their brain.
You think there are people who've got the light in them who are knowledgeable of it and intentionally keeping it subdued?
Oh yes.
Really?
I mean, there have to be. There's no other way to look at it. I mean, people sometimes they lose sight of the light is only really essential for the long game, and some people get caught up in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
And even 100 years is the short term if you think about it. So if they're caught 100%. Up in the short term, that light's not going to get them what they want tomorrow. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to do something to get their hands dirty and not just with the dirt from.
You got to get them hands dirty.
They got to get them red. You got to take care of business, and if that light is going to be a hindrance.
That's true. It's like to get the work done, you got to put the light to the side. I was talking with a Christian the other day, and hopefully I'm not going to get sacrilegious here because I genuinely believe this. But I was talking with like a stronger Christian and then a believer, and then I'm also a believer. I wouldn't say I'm like a practicing Christian, but we got to talking about living like Jesus. And they started talking about people that they believe in, they support on the radio, or, certain figures in the Christian community. And I was like, yeah, but I'm always torn on the balance of gaining for yourself and then actually being like Jesus. Like a lot of these people, even if they're promoting this message, are getting so much out of it. Like they're getting so much that's benefiting them personally, and
too many blessings.
Yeah,
going around.
And I said, if you really lived like Jesus, everyone you'd know would hate you, and you'd die alone and unknown by anybody. And that really offended them. But
well,
but the point, or what were you gonna say?
Well, number one, even though you might die, you're going to come back.
Yeah.
Into a new form.
Yes.
Also.
And I said that, like I did mention that after.
He was, he felt alone, I suppose, at the very end. I can, when he says, why have you forsaken me? And all his friends were like, I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't even know
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair. But he didn't. That's not living like Jesus. It's dying like Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's the result. That's not how he lived, though.
No, but that was the end conclusion.
But how is it supposed to, like if I knew that the right answer was saying, "Hey God, I want to spread light and get nothing out of it. I want to be dirty and homeless and without anything other than my tongue, so I can continue to spread the light." Yeah. If I knew that was an option,
yeah,
and it was a good option, I'd take it.
Yeah,
but I'd have to adjust. I would take the option if that was available. But then again, I'd have to have guarantee. certainty. And that's still getting something out of it.
Exactly.
There's no way to get around it.
Yeah, there's no way to get around it.
My goodness.
And they were kind of offended that I had said that, but I'm like, truly, if you live completely selflessly, you would. I mean, you're on a path to self-disintegration. That's what I would deem it as. Like, if you were truly living purely selfishly, you're on a path to dying like Jesus. Because for one, people don't understand that. Like, I think it's very foreign. Like when people see it, it almost creates an adverse reaction. They're like, "What's this guy up to?
Right.
What is he conspiring? Like nobody's really like this." And then you know.
Well, here's the thing. You know, we're told that we're supposed to treat our neighbors like ourselves, and I would do things for myself, so I would do things for you. So the point is,
you say that with such sexual undertones? It felt so.
Bro, you know, they can be taken that way, you know. Sorry I made so much eye contact as I said it. Maybe that didn't help. But you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not selfless, but how can I give if I wouldn't give myself anything?
Yeah. True.
Exactly.
And then but where's the balance?
Well, I think the balance comes from it's okay to receive because it gives you a chance to be grateful. I mean, it just depends on what you're getting, I guess. Materials is one thing.
Yeah.
Comfort is something. I feel like if anybody was comfortable, that no change would occur. They're just going to find themselves content.
Yeah.
So giving me comfort's clearly not what I truly need. I
will tell you, and it's actually it's a painful but nice reality to wake up to. There's really no such thing as being comfortable. At least not for me.
So, I mean, do you mean entirely?
100%
comfort doesn't exist?
I mean, there's a deterioration that happens to your person if you ever solve enough of your life's problems. Like, I really think if any person solves too many of their problems, their life is going to deteriorate quickly. Like, their mental state will deteriorate quickly. Like, a lot of people have a big problem to fight at all times. Like, maybe you're young, you don't have any money. You know, you have to have some money to have a decent life. Like, you have to have some money. So money's a major problem. You get older, maybe your marriage is a major problem. Maybe your kids have issues, your career. Like, most people are going through life with a major problem. And I think it's so understated the benefit of that. Like, how necessary it is. I think because it's so integral that you feel a sense of progression, that you're fighting towards something, fighting to improve something. I think if you have too many comforts, it doesn't do you well.
I can see that. I mean, that could make sense.
Because speaking from my own experience, I feel like I solved most of my life problems, and more can show up, and they will, obviously. But I'm at a point where I'm often kind of grateful for the problems that show up, and I sometimes even, to my own detriment, I'm hoping for them to show up.
Not only that, but think about, you know, when a guy that finally finds a way to solve all his problems has stumbled across another problem.
Exactly.
A grand scheme problem.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, I feel like no matter where you go, it's going to, until you find that answer, that big picture, you know, answer, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, they say if you solve enough problems, you'll get a knock on your door. And when you open it, a Jew will be waiting on the other side. And then you'll have one more problem.
You're getting audited.
That's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
So we didn't get a lot in the chat tonight.
Benny Blanco was the highlight, as well as Holy Motion. Is that what that says?
Yeah.
And a sweet girl named Angie said hello. That's what we had.
I don't know who that is, but I'm glad to see some more natural viewers.
My girlfriend. But it is natural. She wouldn't watch it if she didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
The frick lady. Instead of the first lady, it's the frick lady. It's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
She's got her own light that we're gonna have to extrapolate at some point.
Perfect.
That's way down the line.
But yeah, man. Any ending points? Anything really pressing on you?
I mean, honestly, though it may have seemed like we were just jumping from stone to stone, it felt like we were in the same pond the whole time.
We were in the flow state.
Absolutely. That's so true. Every moment. I feel like we really covered the right topics. So all I have to say now is stay tuned for Juicy Blunts and the return of the fur.
Return of the fur. It's coming.
Oh, it's sooner than you think.
They are still keeping them on the other side of the ice wall, but we've applied for yet another visa.
Indeed. And unfortunately, once he finally gets out, he said he has a stop to make in Albuquerque, New Mexico on one of the Indian reserves. He's got a Winnebago to collect.
Yes.
But once he travels across country...
A Winnebago and a few games of craps to make up for. And then he'll be back. So, as always, stay in the light.